Only 40% of you are subscribed. Fix that. I want to say thank you to my Patreon subscribers and my Twitch subscribers. If you want to help out the channel, you can actually help out for as little as $1 a month. Enjoy the video and have some fun. All right, so when we last left off, because this is going to be, I guess, a 3-part series, we were actually looking at Pearl and her, like, some of her issues that responding to, you know, manosphere and female sphere, whatever, and you start to see some of the shit come out. But this, I think, may have been recorded earlier, but this is some shit that she actually put a video out on her channel, and why she hated men. So let's look at this shit, shall we?
That's Barely Things YouTube channel. God, I'm kind of nervous to tell this story because I really don't know how the manosphere is going to react. But I want to tell you a story that really made me dislike men for like a really, really long time.
So you heard it right. She is so concerned with how her audience of manosphere would actually respond to shit. And this is like already down the pipeline, but I don't like, I don't know. I just, this just seems like, oh, you have a story to fucking tell, so just tell your story. But maybe I'm wrong, but let's go.
And really like made me feel like violated, so to speak. This story, everything that happened was like legal technically, but there's just a lot of stuff that was really like messed up in hindsight to me. Okay, I'm kind of nervous. Okay.
Why are you nervous? Like, I get the whole thing about, okay, so here, and don't get me wrong, I get the whole thing about literally just saying like, yo, I don't know how to tell my story because I've been hurt, I've been, what I feel was wrong, what I feel was close to SA, like, I get that whole thing, but you've already stated because you don't know how your audience will take it. That's not a thing, dog. Like, all right, let's go.
So anyone that's been like following me for a while knows that I was an athlete and like sports was super, super important to me when I was growing up. So, I was always the type to like put in extra hours at the gym. I was always the type to like work hard. I'm like naturally pretty uncoordinated.
Animals are innocent.
I really like got to
Don't
where
be
I was athletic.
Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Thank you.
I worked really, really hard. So, I'm getting nervous. Okay. Anyway, so when I was in high school, my mom hired a trainer, and that trainer, his name was Marcus, and he was in the NFL. And he was like, my dad was gone a lot when I was younger. And
why does it sound like she's trying to play in the bad relationship with dad type thing? Okay. By that token, Gohan here should like be like, oh, Mr. Piccolo was his dad. Okay, fuck, let's go.
I'm never gonna be the type to say like my dad wasn't there, because he was always there for like the big events, like the big stuff. He was always there for us. I always knew that he loved us. But there were times when he just like wasn't around a lot because he was running like a big software company, you know.
So wait. Your dad was running a big software company. So are you rich? Like, what the fuck? And I'm not saying it is a call out, but it's just like your experiences may not be the same as everybody else. It's like, wow, okay, let's go.
At that time, like I really looked at this trainer, Marcus, as like a father figure. Like I saw him.
And so here's the thing, and like I kind of like hate this whole aspect of the way we yes, you should give people respect, but this whole thing of treating somebody with like, you know, just deference because they're, I just don't understand that whole thing about treating somebody with deference because they may have accomplished something, and it means that they have, you know, like for some reason that you should always be comfortable with shit that they do. And I get it. It's probably the nature of how humans supposed to relate to each other. and I've never just been that person. Like, I've had people that I've looked up to as far as, you know, what's the best way to say it? I've had people that I've looked up to as far as people that I want to emulate certain success, but I've never just like, oh yeah, they're great, and I need to. No, that's just stupid to me. But let's go.
Maybe 2 or 3 times a week. So I got like, it was a one-on-one session, so I got like really close with him, and like all the time. And this was when I started maybe when I was 15. Like going to see him a couple times a week, and he really helped me like get to the next level of my sport, whatever. And in hindsight, there were like a couple conversations that stood out to me that were kind of weird. But at the time when you're young, like it's kind of exciting when the adult talks to you about like stuff that's sort of inappropriate to be talking to minors about. Like a conversation that stood out was, I remember like saying something about me being like insecure, you know, when I was a kid. Because when I was in high school, like I got zero attention from boys. Like boys never talked to me. So, and it's not even like the 80-20 thing. Like guys just never approached me, never talked to me. I went to a small Catholic school.
Okay. And so this is one of those things where it's just like, I get how getting attention from somebody, especially somebody who you feel respect you, is a thing where a lot of people just like feel like, oh great, they're showing me attention. That doesn't mean that they're still not trying to in lack of a better term, groom you for the shit that they want out of you. But yeah, let's go.
And I said something to him about it, and he said, like, you'll get it.
And you know what actually is kind of like weird that she had to throw in the, well, it wasn't the 80-20 rule type shit. Like, that is so ingrained. You have to genuflex to that. Well, it wasn't because I wasn't a part of it. It's just like, why do you have to feel that you have to genuflex to that? That was weird. Or is that just me? Is that just me feeling that she has to genuflex to this because her community? All right, let's go.
Attention in college. And I forgot what he said, but he, like, I don't remember the exact words, but he heavily insinuated that, like, basically I had a big butt, so I would get attention in college. And, like, to me, this was just, like, a source of validation that I never really got, like, from, like, anywhere outside of high school. And there's just small things like that where I would tell him about, like, parties, like, that I went to, or, like, nothing big, but, like, you know, just stuff, like, you really should not be talking about, like, underage drinking with an adult as a minor. Like, that's inappropriate. But, you know, there's a lot of, like, other stuff, too, that he just helped me with. So it wasn't like that was all we were talking about. But that there's just, like, moments that are kind of weird in hindsight once you're older and you look back, like, that was you as a child, you know? Anyways, I, like, keeping going with this story. When I turned 18, or I was 17 when I left for college. So the last time I saw him before I left for college, I was 17, because I was kind of young for my grade. So when I turned 18, I went to college, and I did well in my freshman year, whatever. And the first time I went back to see...
I noticed she skipped over that she was... I did well in my freshman year. Like, okay, dog, okay, yeah, sure, let's go.
Him when I was 18. I like, you know, because, sorry, this might sound weird if you aren't in a sport, but any, like, former athlete knows the connection you have with, like, a coach. So he wasn't the oned coach that I'd go back and see. Like, I went back and saw my high school coach. I saw a couple club coaches. And while I was at it, I went and saw my old trainer that I was really close with that helped me get to where I was. He texted me, because I was just going to go see him at the gym. He texted me to go see him at this, like, bar. But it was, like, during the day, so you could go eat there, too. So I was like, okay, it's not that weird, like, just going to get lunch with an old coach, you know, whatever. I genuinely didn't think anything of it. So... it was weird when I got there because he was definitely like drinking and he like sat at the bar. But I was so naive, guys. Like I didn't think anything. And he kept trying to get me to drink because I was like kind of bragging that I had like a fake ID and whatnot. So yeah, so he was like trying to get me to use it, and I wasn't the type to just like drink with adults. Like I would just.
So here's the thing. This is the shit that we need to teach our daughters against. Of just accepting things, just genuflexing things because she said it. She wasn't used to an adult or an adult giving her attention. No. And not just our daughters either. It's the shit that we need to teach against our sons. It's because people seem like a cool adult. Like, doesn't give them, like, if you see some shit weird or you feel like shit is weird, then act upon it. If you really feel like it's weird like that somebody is showing you this attention, then say something. It's, you know, that's why people get put in situations and like bring up the last video. No, I don't. But that's the reason why so many women feel that they have to act a certain way because, Like, this is just some shit where they've just been conditioned to actually believe, and no, that's not okay. You shouldn't actually just feel uncomfortable about doing shit and then do it. I was having a conversation with a friend of mine. I was like, yo, I don't want to actually conjile a woman to want to sleep with me. I want her to sleep with me because she wants to, not because she feels that she has to, or feels that she needs to make up something for me, or me like being cool with her. Like, no, just like, dude, like, and this is like the weird shit that we try to, it's the cognitive dissonance shit that we force upon women, where no, you have to be nice, you have to be polite, but then you have to not, show interest in a guy because then they may call you a slut. And it's like, no, this is the dumbest shit that I've ever heard. And then remember, she was just saying being more assertive. This is the shit that like women complain about. And then later on, when they actually don't want it, or they feel like they've been affected by like being, essayed or sexual harassed, that this is what they were talking about, dog. But let's continue.
Drink at college. I didn't drink when I was home, so I told him no, I don't want to do that, whatever. And during the dinner or the lunch, he just said things that were kind of weird. Like, he would say, like, again, making comments about my butt, asking if I had sex at that point, like, just stuff that was inappropriate and I thought was kind of weird. But like in my head, it was just because we were like close. Like, this was the, father-like figure. I don't know. It was really weird in hindsight.
Yeah, it's weird. You knew it wasn't even a hindsight. You knew it was weird at that time. And again, like, this is the shit that like manosphere guys feel that, oh no, he has the right to do this because she's almost out of ripe season because she's in the first year of college, and so yeah, like this is just weird shit. And this is the shit that the last young lady was just complaining about, that you feel uncomfortable about, but you don't want to seem like you're just being sensitive. Like, no, fuck, like this is some shit. But let's go.
Oh, I was dumb. But anyway, so I said, like, okay, I'm gonna go. Great to see you, whatever, left. He calls me on my way back and says, hey, like, you should just come to the gym really quick. He owned the gym, like it was his own place. And at first I said no, but he's like, come on, like, you should have a shot with me. I don't know, he kept asking me if I wanted to have a shot with him. And in my head, I thought, I always felt like special, like cooler than the other girls, because he was like the cool trainer at like my club that I went to. So I always felt like I'm the one that he like gives extra attention to, or I'm the one that he, spends.
Take it for somebody who actually dates multiple women. He's showing you special attention because he finds something in you special, or he should. But this whole idea, this is one of the downsides of monogamy. People think that because somebody shows them, more than what they show the rest of the world, that it means that they're super special. You're special to me in a certain way, but the downside of monogamy leads into a lot of red pill bullshit, and we don't have time for that today. We don't. All right, let's go.
More time with, like, I'm the one he believes in, whatever. I always felt like cool, so I genuinely thought it would be cool to like take a shot with, my old trainer and just brag about it to my friends. So when I thought about it like that, I was like, you know what? F it. Like, I'll go take a shot and I'm gonna get going. And I have to say, by the way, he is, I don't know what his age was, but like I would say late 30s, early 40s. He had a daughter that was my age, which, kind of weird, and he was married too. So that's why a lot of stuff that he did that was weird. Like, in my head, people don't cheat, especially when they're married. And at that age, like, I genuinely did not think that married men cheated. Like, genuinely didn't know. I never heard of anyone cheating. Yeah, I didn't think it was a thing. So I go to the gym, right? And he's like there sitting down, and he's just like making conversation with me, whatever. And we take the shot, whatever, and we talk probably for like half hour, 45 minutes. And he says, like, this gym, like, we're alone. We could do whatever you want. And I'm like, what do you mean, Marcus? Like, what do you, and he's like, what do you think I mean? And I don't know why, like, because there's a bunch of stuff that led up to it, but this was,
So this is some real predatory shit. And this type of idea that oh yeah, you need to trick a woman into getting what you want. This is like key red pill ideology bullshit. And I'm sorry, like no, like all right, let's go.
Over, I'm 24 now, so this was over 5 years ago, so I genuinely don't remember the entire conversation, but like that part of the conversation, literally, I will never forget. And so then I just said, you know what, Marcus, like I think I do, but I'm gonna pretend like I don't. I'm gonna get out of here. And then he's like texting me after I leave, like trying to get me to come back and like have sex with him. And obviously, like I left. I was not about that. But I came to find out that he was doing this not just with me, like clearly, but with like a lot of other girls. He would just like plant seeds until we were 18 and try to hook up with the girls once they turned 18. And it's just kind of messed up, you know? And it was like heartbreaking to me because this guy, like I looked at him as a father figure.
And see, that's the thing. And this is the big problem that we have with a lot of people. And like a lot of guys just feel that that's how you get women. And no, dog, that's not how. If you have to like plant seeds like that in order to get women, you're doing it wrong. You're literally doing it wrong. But let's let her finish.
There were times where I was like closer with him than like with my dad, and nothing against my dad, you know. Me and my dad like got closer after this, and like later on, now I'm like super close with my dad. But yeah, at that time I really wasn't. So it just kind of changed the way that I view the world because one, I didn't know people cheated. I didn't know that was a thing. Two, it made me second guess a lot of like coaches that had given me like attention and help growing up. You know, it made me kind of think maybe a lot of them were creepier than I thought before. And
yet, when the last young lady said that a lot of women feel SA'd and it's bad to them, you poo-pooed the shit. Like, dude, you experienced like how creepy some guys can actually be when it comes to what they feel that they're entitled to as a guy. And like, no, that's yeah, sure. Let's go.
Genuinely, like I felt like I'd lost like a friend, which really sucked. And then on top of that, I actually had to go get him fired from my school because he was going to start coaching my younger sisters. He was the track coach at my high school, and I was not about to let him coach my sisters. So I like literally printed the screenshots and I brought it to the school and was like, look, I know I was technically 18 at the time when he did this, but this like isn't right. Like, he can't be grooming young girls to do that. Like that's messed up. So I don't know, that event like actually changed my life. Like I never, and that's when I started to like, I don't want to say hate men, but I started to see it everywhere. Like I would see all these guys like at my school or at, you know, like married guys just like being super flirty with like younger girls. And it just made me sad, you know? But I mean, it's been long enough. Like I'm cool now, but yeah, that's the story of how one guy made me think poorly of an entire gender for maybe like 2 years. It was not.
And this is the problem that like compared to some of the other videos that a lot of the manosphere have on her channel. So I can't believe that was only this quick. I guess I let a woman talk and explain her pain and shit like that and all that other good shit. So this has 174,000 or 175,000 views. I'm just gonna say that. Right? But videos of her talking about men and being shitty towards women, over 500,000. How many of her subscribers that deal with red pill shit won't see this shit? Won't understand exactly why women feel this way about certain shit? And she's not going to push it. She's not going to promote it. Because it's really just about playing towards a fucking audience. I don't like using somebody else's pain as a way of saying, oh, look, see, I was right about this. But it is something where, come on, dog, you know what the fuck the deal is. You know what's going on. And you know half of these guys who are on your channel, who watch your shit, this red pill shit, what she said was like 91% of her subscribers are guys. If they heard this shit, they would be shitting on her. No, he was just, that's what you have to do to get these chicks. Like, yeah, no, like for real. And that's just stupid. But anyway. This has been a quick intersection of this, and we're gonna cut this section here. Please like, share, and subscribe. And yeah, we're gonna get to part 2 and probably the end of this color. So let's go.